Hey guys, what's going on? It's Enrico here, and today we're going to make a calorie-conscious burger that satisfies your cravings without going overboard. This burger is coming in at 422 calories with 32 grams of protein, big flavor, juicy patty, and all the toppings you need. Simple, balanced, and seriously good. Let's make it. All right, now we're gonna start with the onion. So we're gonna get it peeled first. As you can see, I'm struggling here. But once we get it peeled, we're gonna cut it in half. Now, we're not gonna cut it the traditional way, like you would when you're dicing an onion. We're gonna cut it in half so that the rings are not disturbed. We're gonna see why we need to do that later. But for now, cut it in half, take the one half, and then we're gonna start dicing that up. Now when it comes to dicing the onion, you want to get this as finely diced as possible. Remember, we're going to be using this part for the sauce. So you want these pieces of onion as tiny as possible so they mix in nicely and you don't have big chunks of onion in your sauce. Once you're done dicing it up, throw it into a bowl and keep it aside. All right, now it's time for the pickles. Clausen is the best dill pickle brand on the market. I dare you to try to find a better one. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna slice these up and then we're gonna dice them. Remember, this is gonna be for our sauce, so we wanna dice this as fine as possible. Once you're done dicing it, you can throw it into that same bowl with the onions. All right, now that we've got our onions and pickles chopped up for the sauce, it's time to add all the other condiments. Now this is where a scale's really gonna come in handy. Since we're making a calorie-conscious version here, you really wanna make sure that you're measuring everything. I'm going with 20 grams of mustard, 110 grams of light mayo, and 80 grams of sugar-free ketchup. Then we're gonna go with 30 milliliters of Worcestershire sauce, a tablespoon of MSG. Now you can see that some of my measurements are not exact, especially with the ketchup and the mayo, but as long as you're measuring everything, when you use your app to enter all your ingredients in, just make sure you put the measurements that you actually use. I'm using an app called MacroFactor, and they have a recipe section that makes it really easy to add all this stuff and then divide it up later. Now we're gonna start slicing up those onion rings. You can either use a knife here, or I switched to a mandolin just because it was a little easier. Up next to the tomatoes, same process as the onions, just try to slice them thin. You can either use a knife or a mandolin. Once you're done slicing up those tomatoes nice and thin, we're gonna lay them all out on the cutting board. Then we're gonna take some paper towels and we're gonna try to get up some of that excess moisture. Tomatoes have a lot of extra moisture. You don't want all of that going on the burger. Once you're done with that, please make sure you salt the tomatoes. Always salt tomatoes before you put them on a sandwich. Next, we're gonna go with some romaine lettuce. Now, I like to make these about the size of my hand. That's around the size of a bun. That way they fit neatly when you put everything together. You're also gonna see me chop off some of the lighter pieces. Those are kind of less desirable in my take, so I discard them or set them aside. Next, we're gonna slice up some pickles, long way. Make them as thin as you can. Again, I like to slice these pickles because these are better quality pickles than some of the Vlasic ones or other brands that you might get already pre-sliced. Just take the extra time. It does make a difference. Next, we're gonna roll up some meat. Now, take your ground beef, roll it into little burger balls. I make these 110 grams a piece. You can go a little bit more, a little bit less, but I feel like these kind of smash out to what you want for a burger. Next, we're gonna preheat the pan. So I'm using stainless steel here. One way that you can tell that it's hot enough is you throw some water on the pan, and if it sizzles out the way that it did the first time, then you know it's not hot enough. If it beads up and the water kind of dances around the pan, that's how you know it's ready to go. Now it's time to cook. Grab one of your balls of meat, set it down on the pan, grab a smasher. I got this one on Amazon. And take a little piece of parchment paper. I like to put the parchment paper right underneath. That way it doesn't stick to the smasher when you're pulling it up. Press it down as hard as you can. And then we're going to salt and pepper the burger. Now, I didn't put any seasonings on anything before. You want to salt it as late as possible so it doesn't draw out any of the moisture from the burger. Again, we're using 95.5 ground beef, so it is on the leaner side. We do want to make sure that we're salting it as late as possible. So smash it down, salt it, pepper, and then put a little bit of that Worcestershire sauce right on top. It helps to reintroduce moisture back into the burger, especially because we're using a leaner cut here. Then you're gonna top that bad boy with a nice slice of low-fat American cheese and then cover it so the cheese melts. Now remember, these are smash burgers, so these are gonna cook pretty quickly. I would only cook these for about a minute on each side. That way it's gonna get you nice and pink in the middle. And just repeat the same process for the rest of the burgers. Oh, and please, for the love of God, these get flipped one time. You cook for a minute, flip it, cook for a minute, cover it, and that's it. Don't flip this a million times. There's no need to. We're using a leaner cut. You want to try to keep as much moisture in the burger as possible. All right, guys, so now it's the moment you've been waiting for. We're gonna build this burger. Burger down, then we're gonna add a little sauce, about 2 tablespoons. Spread it out nice and even. Then we're gonna crown it with 2 beautiful salted tomatoes, followed by some pickles. Then we're gonna hit it with a couple of onions. I like onions. I added some extra. Another beautiful piece of lettuce, and then we crown our beautiful creation. Would you look at that? Beautiful. Oh, wow.
Oh man, it's freaking good.
If I haven't ever seen a more beautiful burger. The first bite. Ah. I will say, that burger and that sauce, next level. All right, and one last tip for anybody that's meal prepping these. So I prepped them for the week. I made about 7 burgers. So you get one of these containers, lay the meat down first and put the lettuce next. That way you create like a little bit of a lifter so that you can lift up the lettuce, take it out, microwave just the burger, and then build the burger after. Placing the bun right on top, and that's pretty much it. Well guys, thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and until the next time.